Far beyond the towering mountains and across the silent, slumbering seas, there lay a small village that knew only darkness. For 1,000 nights the moon had withheld her gentle glow. The elders spoke of a time long past, a time when the moon cried, and her very last tear fell to the earth, extinguishing her light as it fell. Generations of children grew up with this tale whispered on the wind, but only one, a young girl named Liora, truly believed it. Liora was different. While others huddled in their homes, fearing the perpetual night, she found solace in it. She loved the way the stars, like shy diamonds, tried to whisper their secrets through the deep, velvety shadows. Every single evening, she would sit by the river, her eyes fixed on the still, black water. Her heart filled with a quiet hope that she might glimpse even the faintest sliver of moonlight. Her grandmother's words echoed in her memory, a constant, gentle hum, the moon's tear, she'd say, her voice as soft as worn linen. It fell somewhere near this very river. They say whoever finds it can return her light, but only if their heart is pure and true. Liora clung to those words, holding them close like a sacred promise, a guiding star in her own personal darkness. She knew, with a certainty that settled deep in her bones, that she had to be the one to find it. One evening, as the sky began to churn with an approaching storm, a faint glimmer caught Liora's eye. It was deep in the riverbed, a soft, ethereal silver glow, pulsing gently as if it were alive, breathing with the water. Her heart hammered against her ribs, a frantic drumbeat of disbelief and hope. Without a second thought, she waded into the icy current, the cold water swirling around her legs, fighting its determined push. Her fingers brushed against something smooth and cool. The moment she touched it, the raging water around her calmed, becoming as still as glass. There, nestled in her palm, lay a tiny crystalline drop. It glowed with the soft, liquid light of a captive moonbeam. At first, it was cold, like a shard of winter ice. But then a sudden warmth spread through it, a gentle heat that seemed to recognize her very soul. As she stared, mesmerized by its beauty, a soft, melodic voice echoed not in her ears, but inside her mind. It was a voice woven from starlight and silence. Child of Earth, why do you seek my tear? Liora gasped, her eyes darting around the empty riverbank. There was no one there. The voice was coming from the crystal in her hand. Gathering her courage, she whispered back to the light, I want to give your light back. The world needs you. We need you. A sigh, as gentle as the wind rustling through willow leaves, answered her. Do they? The voice mused. Or do they only want what shines for them, without understanding its source? Liora paused, considering the question. She thought of the villagers, shut away in their homes, afraid of the shadows she had come to love. Maybe, she said, her voice growing stronger, maybe they've forgotten how to see the beauty in the darkness. But I haven't. I'll help them remember, I promise. The crystal pulsed, its light flaring brightly in her hand. In that exact moment, the storm that had been gathering finally broke. A jagged fork of lightning tore across the sky, followed by a deafening clap of thunder. The river, once calm, surged with newfound fury. Liora stumbled, clutching the precious tear to her chest, shielding it from the chaos. "Then prove your heart, child of earth." The moon's voice resonated, firm but not unkind. "Carry my last tear to the highest peak before the dawn breaks all. My light will fade from this world forever." There was no hesitation, no flicker of doubt in Leora's heart. She ran. The rain soaked her simple clothes to the bone, and the wind howled through the trees like a mournful beast, but she didn't stop. She followed the winding mountain trail, her bare feet finding their way over sharp rocks and tangled roots. Pain bloomed in her feet, but her heart burned brighter, fueled by a fierce and unwavering hope. She had to make it, she would not fail. Finally, just as the inky black of the night began to pale into the soft grey of pre-dawn, she reached the summit. She was exhausted, breathless, but she was there. Hanging low in the sky was a faint, broken crescent moon, a shadow of her former self. "I'm here," Liora cried out, her voice raw but triumphant. "Please take your light back." With all her remaining strength, she lifted the glowing tear high above her head. It rose from her trembling hand, floating upward, spinning like a tiny silver comet on a collision course with destiny. Then a single brilliant beam of light shot down from the heavens, striking the tear, and for the first time in 1,000 nights, the moon shone again. A wave of pure silver light washed over the world, bathing everything in its magnificent glow. The darkness didn't just lift, it dissolved. The rivers sparkled like they were filled with diamonds. Down in the valley, the villagers cautiously stepped out of their homes, their faces turned upward, their eyes wide with awe and wonder. Liora fell to her knees, every muscle aching, but a wide, radiant smile spread across her face. She had done it. But as the moon's light filled the sky, something fell back down a single, shimmering drop, landing gently in her outstretched palm. It was another tear, new and bright. The moon's voice whispered to her one last time, a secret just for her. "Even light must cry, dear child. Every glow comes from a sorrow that has been understood and accepted. Keep this tear. Let it be a reminder that pain and hope are often born from the very same heart." When morning finally broke, the village erupted in celebration. They hailed Liora as their hero, calling her Liora, the keeper of the moonlight. Years passed, and the moon never disappeared again. Her light was a constant, faithful presence in the night sky. And every full moon, Liora would sit by the river, holding that final, precious tear close to her heart, watching its light shimmer like a living, breathing promise. She finally understood the truth. The moon hadn't lost her light all those years ago. She had given it away, a gift entrusted to those who dared to care enough to find it. And now, whenever the wind passed softly over the river, it seemed to whisper her name in a loving sigh, Liora, the girl who made the moon weep no more. For true light isn't something you find for yourself. It's something you give back through kindness, courage, and a love that never ever stops believing. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales that light up the darkness. Until next time, stay curious and keep shining.